What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and buckle your seatbelts because there is a lot unfolding right now with stimulus. This is your stimulus check update and your stimulus package update. Now, as you guys know, right now we have two groups of bipartisan lawmakers assembling agreements for the next stimulus package for the first portion of the infrastructure bill. But in the meantime, we've also heard Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer say he's tired of waiting, and he has initiated the process of budget resolution for reconciliation, and he's proposing a $6 trillion stimulus package. That's right, even more than President Joe Biden had suggested, around $4 trillion, and way more than these bipartisan groups. And all of this is happening at rapid speed because they're saying they want to have this done by July. So you guys, one way or another, it looks like the next new stimulus package is going to be on the way here very soon. And just to clarify, this is not the child tax credit. This is nothing from the American Rescue Plan. This is an entirely brand new package of stimulus to help stimulate the economy in what they're calling the infrastructure bill. And this is going to be both physical and what they're calling human infrastructure, where there could be a lot of provisions, once again, helping out individuals, families, people. So I'm going to dive right into the latest, get you caught up as to what's unfolding right now with all of these different moving parts for stimulus as of today, June 17th, 2021. Now, in addition to that, if you missed my previous video, be sure to check it out as we received breaking news that a 26th state has announced they're going to be ending federal unemployment benefits early, and this is actually the first Democratic state that we have seen announce this. So Democratic states are now getting on board with ending federal unemployment benefits. But let's go ahead and dive into the latest on stimulus. I'm going to get you caught up as of today, June 17, 2021. But before we do, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second. If you appreciate these updates, don't forget to just destroy the like button, leave your comments, and share this out to anybody that you think might find it valuable. Also, if this is your first time here and you like to stay up to date on all these topics, come and join the viewing community. Come and join what we like to call the Ram Fam by smashing the subscribe button, turning on that notification bell. Join me on Instagram at SteveRam3. That's the best place to shoot me any questions if you got anything specific for me. And with that being said, though, let's go ahead and dive right in, and let's go ahead and start off with this video footage of Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer announcing reconciliation is beginning.
What a day. On another issue, infrastructure. Despite a consensus in Washington that America needs more investment in our infrastructure, it's been decades since Congress passed a standalone bill to address the issue. This Congress is working hard to remedy that fact. As I've repeated, discussions about infrastructure are moving forward along two tracks. One is bipartisan. The second deals with components of the American Jobs and Families Plan, which we will consider even if it lacks bipartisan support. Though I would note, a recent poll showed that President Biden's Infrastructure and Families Plan is broadly popular. Nearly 70% of Americans support President Biden's infrastructure plan. More than 60% support additional support for American families. Now, despite some over-dramatized punditry, the truth is both tracks are moving forward very well, and both tracks need each other. So we want to work with our Republican colleagues on infrastructure where we have common ground. And Democrats believe we have other priorities that the Senate must consider above and beyond a bipartisan infrastructure bill, not the least of which is addressing the urgent challenge of climate change. Yesterday, I convened all 11 members of the Senate Budget Committee to discuss the reconciliation track. And today, I'll convene the group of Democrats negotiating with Republicans to discuss the bipartisan track.
So there you guys have it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As he said that things are moving along well and they are on track to get this done. So it looks like one way or another, stimulus is going to be on the way, and we're seeing articles come out like this. Take a look, link in the description below if you'd like to read it for yourself. And it says Senate Democrats weigh $6 trillion infrastructure bill without GOP. The bigger proposal doesn't necessarily mean, however, that the party has given up on bipartisan talks just as they gain steam. And it says, Senate Democrats are weighing spending as much as $6 trillion on their own infrastructure package if the chamber's bipartisan talks fail, according to two sources familiar with the matter. Now, Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has repeatedly insisted that infrastructure talks are currently on two tracks, as we just heard. The first track is bipartisan, while the second track will include priorities that have no chance of getting GOP support. He huddled on Wednesday afternoon with Democratic members of the Budget Committee to discuss strategy with no firm decision reached. Now, Senate Budget Chair Bernie Sanders has been pushing for an aggressive approach to the infrastructure talks and is angling to insert a large expansion of Medicare into the Democrats' plan. Earlier this week, Senator Sanders said that he opposed the emerging bipartisan agreement. He acknowledged that the bipartisan talks could impact his plans, but vowed to proceed. It's what the American people want, Sanders said on Thursday. Virtually every proposal I've included in that budget is exactly what the American people want. They want us to create millions of good-paying jobs and to do other things that are long overdue. Now, according to a tentative plan, half of the proposed Democrats' only alternative would be paid for. About $2.5 trillion would go through the Financial Committee, $185 billion through the Energy Committee, and almost $500 billion through the Environmental and Public Works Committee. One source said that while emphasizing that the discussions are fluid, the dollar amount, however, is likely to shrink as moderates weigh in. At the moment, it appears impossible that all 50 Democrats would get on board with such a large figure, and we're hearing $6 trillion, which is probably one of the largest numbers that we have heard so far, but keep into consideration as well that this includes both portions, both the American Jobs Plan and the American Families Plan. So if they're going to do it through reconciliation, they only get one shot at it, and they're going to put it all together in one giant stimulus package. Now, it says moderate Democrats met with Schumer midday to discuss their bipartisan proposal, the budget and reconciliation, according to the two sources familiar with the matter. Now, they have signaled that they are unlikely to go along with a package running into a multi-trillion-dollar range, but talks about a compromise are just beginning in earnest. Senator Mark Warner laughed when he was asked if the $6 trillion number is too high, and he said that he was open to reconciliation, but he wants the increases to the corporate income tax and the capital gains tax to be more modest than what's currently being presented by President Joe Biden. Now, so far, a bipartisan group of 21 senators has signed onto the bipartisan approach, and the plan's details remain in flux. And Democrats' separate considerations of an infrastructure bill as big as $6 trillion, more than President Joe Biden's initial $4 trillion plan, doesn't necessarily suggest that they're preparing for those talks to run aground. Now, the bigger framework includes provisions that could be added to a separate infrastructure bill passed along party lines, even if the bipartisan talks pay off. Now, the White House met with a group of Democratic negotiators on Wednesday, but it's not clear yet what the next steps will be. Now, Senator Joe Manchin, he is pushing for a bipartisan agreement, and he's not entirely committed to a second reconciliation package with only Democratic priorities, which is a key demand by progressives whose votes will be needed for any bipartisan deal. Liberal lawmakers for weeks have been pushing for the White House to go at it alone, and Schumer has insisted that the Senate will take up the infrastructure bill in July, so next month. So that is why we're seeing all of this happen so rapidly and fast, because they're saying they want to have this done and ready to roll by July. Now, he says he also wants the Senate to consider a budget resolution that would unlock the ability to pass a party line bill and evade the filibuster. So they're saying they're going to try to do these bipartisan talks, but in the meantime, just in case, so that they can have everything done right away, they're getting reconciliation ready. So all these different paths, they're on track to get something done. So is it going to be through the process of reconciliation that we see more stimulus, or is it going to be through some bipartisan agreement? Well, we will see. We have those senators coming to an agreement. They're going to be releasing more details, and we'll see if Republicans and Democrats are willing to get on board. But if not, we will see reconciliation. But here's what we know so far about that bipartisan deal. So what is in the latest bipartisan infrastructure proposal? 20 senators endorsed nearly $579 billion in new spending for the infrastructure bill. And it says the draft of the group's proposal show what is allocated. It has $110 billion for roads and bridges, $66 billion for rails, including Amtrak, $48.5 billion for public transportation, $25 billion for airports, $15 billion for electric vehicles, $25 billion for infrastructure financing, $16 billion for ports and waterways, $11 billion for safety, such as Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administrations, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, and the Pipeline and Hazard Materials Safety Administration, $1 billion for community funds, $55 billion for water, $48 billion for resilience, FEMA paid in advance, $65 billion for broadband, $73 billion for power infrastructure, $5 billion for Superfund cleanup, $16 billion for open and abandoned wells and methane gas capping, and $5 billion for Western water storage. So you guys, that is currently what's included in there. This is about $500 billion for the first portion of the American Jobs Plan. The American Families Plan is not included in this, so that's why it's significantly smaller than, well, $4 trillion or $6 trillion. Well, there you have it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And this is all going to be unfolding here probably very rapidly over the course of the next 2 weeks, as they're saying they want to get this done by July. So you guys, I will keep you up to date. Now, in addition to that, like I mentioned before, there's a lot unfolding right now with unemployment. We have 26 states ending early, and also tax refunds and unemployment refunds are coming out in new waves. And as I get updates, I'll share with you here on the channel. So you guys stay tuned, keep an eye out for those videos. I'll be sure to keep you up to date. And once again, if you like and appreciate these updates and you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, destroy the like button. Helps out the channel. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Follow me on Instagram at SteveRam3. And if you want to see what stocks or cryptos I'm trading in real time, consider joining my Patreon group. And if you want to get some free stocks and cryptos right now, don't forget, link in the description below, and you can get some of those right now for free. But with that being said, you guys, hope this reaches you well. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll keep you up to date, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.